taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
We're taking things out of context.
Out of context.
Taken out of context?
Taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
That is so out of context.
And take shit out of context, but
no, hey, hold on. So we're gonna flesh this out because I don't want nobody saying we don't take things in context.
Tell me the context.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is working with mainstream media via TMZ and People magazine. Once again, they ran 2 brand new articles talking directly to Gypsy, and the first of which states this. Gypsy Rose Blanchard shares new details about baby number 2, says she wants to give Aurora a little brother. Exclusive. Blanchard shares her daughter Aurora, whom she welcomed earlier this year, with boyfriend Ken Erker. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is almost ready to grow her family, says Article 1. The 34-year-old who welcomed her baby daughter Aurora this past winter with boyfriend Ken Erker is open to having another baby, telling People that she would love to give her little girl a baby brother. But her plans haven't been set in stone yet, and she'll have to do an in vitro fertilization, IVF, this time around. And we know why, because she has a microdeletion chromosome disorder. As of right now, we have not made any solidified plans. We hope to do IVF sometime in the near future, but right now, all of our focus is on Aurora, Blanchard explains. As for IVF, it's a way to ensure that I do not pass my genetic condition of microdeletion 1q21.1. The article then continues, we are thankful Aurora tested negative, but we can't take the risk of another child naturally. So IVF is our best option. And with it, we can choose the gender. We would like to give Aurora a baby brother, she says to People. Although Blanchard and Erker have been thinking about adding another little one, the two aren't planning on getting pregnant in the next few months. Possibly the middle of next year, Blanchard says, of when they might have another baby. That'll give us time to settle in these new changes. Ken has a new career field that he has entered, and Gypsy has had 50. Blanchard says that while they're still adjusting to Erker's new schedule, she doesn't want to add the pressure of having another new baby. I think we'll want to have a little bit of an age gap, but not too big. I can handle a toddler and a newborn, but not a baby and a newborn, she adds. We did go as far as to have the pre-testing done and then put it on pause for a few months, continued Blanchard. Pre-testing is pretty simple. They run blood work and analysis to let you know what your fertility looks like. So we got the information about it. So when we are ready, we can proceed. I will leave this to you to opine on and leave it to your discernment what you think about this. While many people will think it's irresponsible of her to have any more children until she's come to a full place where she is healed and she has taken full accountability for her debt to society via her crime and Nicholas Godejohn. People that support her are going to support her extending her family, however that looks, to Gypsy and Ken. At least this time, she's doing it in a responsible, proactive way to ensure that this child doesn't have her microdeletion. Now, People magazine ran a second article, and it states this, exclusive. Gypsy Rose Blanchard reveals her future plans to marry boyfriend Ken Erker. Blanchard and Erker share a 9-month-old daughter, Aurora. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is ready for Ken Erker to pop the question. Oh, don't we know it? Don't we know it? The pressure is so immense that it might just explode. While recently chatting with People, Blanchard, 34, looked back on her divorce from ex-husband Ryan Scott Anderson and forward to her future with Erker, with whom she shares a 9-month-old daughter, Aurora. She states verbatim, when he proposes, the answer will of course be yes. Blanchard tells People in anticipation of Ken Erker proposing again. In October of 2018, Urker proposed to Blanchard for the first time, though they called off their engagement before reuniting in August of 2019. Despite their reconciliation, the two split again and didn't romantically reconnect until April of 2024. And we now know she was talking to him in February of 2024, not even 50 days after she had been released. Now, Blanchard believes they are ready to get engaged again. Are they? Are they really, though? Do you really think they are? Why hasn't he proposed then, if they're ready? She tells People, I have been in love with Ken since the day we first met, she says. We have been through more than most couples have and have had challenges that would break many couples, but we still stand strong, and I don't ever see that changing. This really feels like she's trying to force him to propose because that's what she wants, because she thinks it'll look good. The fact that she's doing this to People magazine is really going to put more pressure on him. Blanchard notes that she and Urker moved in together in late June. Last year, she announced her separation from Anderson in March of 2024, 3 months after her prison release for the murder of her mother, Dee Dee, who made her undergo years of intense, unneeded medical treatments. Yet, these doctors couldn't be sued for malpractice in any way because it was needed for her microdeletion. She didn't have a legal case at all to sue any of those doctors, or physicians, or surgeons, or dentists, but she's free to slander, defame, and libel a dead woman, her victim. Okay, she filed for divorce the following month, and the exes legally parted ways in December of 2024. While Blanchard wants to tie the knot again, this time, Urker, she points out that she doesn't think being married would change much about their dynamic. There is a clip from our Lifetime show, Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, when my dad says marriages are a piece of paper, and for a long time, I thought he meant that the idea of marriage doesn't have value, but now I understand what he meant by that. A document is just a piece of paper, but the love that two people have for one another is the marriage, she tells People. Then why isn't she satisfied with Ken proposing when he wants to, if he ever chooses to? So to both me and Ken, even though it's not on paper, we still consider ourselves united in our love for each other. She continues, of course, having his last name would be nice, but it wouldn't change anything in our daily life. We still love each other just as much. We value the important pillars on which a committed relationship stands, on honesty, love, respect, and trust. In late June, Blanchard appeared in a 2-part episode on iHeartRadio's Misspelling podcast, in which she opened up about her future plans with Urker. Like she just told People, Blanchard told her host, Tori Spelling, that she's ready for a ring. We have a child together, so it's like we have a family. We have that love, Blanchard said at the time. We have stood through thick and thin of this last year and a half of going through so much. So I think we have what it takes. Now, it's just kind of about realizing what we need to do to get there. Ken Urker, hint, hint. She's using mainstream media to put pressure on you because you're not moving fast enough. Even Ryan wasn't that much of a simp. On season 2 finale of Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup, Urker went engagement ring shopping, but he hasn't told me if he got a ring or if he didn't get a ring, Blanchard noted in the episode. And her TikTok reaction, acting like she's seen it for the first time. Like he's been so big about it. And so part of me is hoping that maybe we'll get engaged when we're on vacation. You mean a third vacation is on the horizon already? He's already talked to my dad and gotten my dad's blessing, she added. But there was no season 3, so Ken Urker had no incentive. What he was trying to do with Lifetime was trying to give them an incentive to keep the show going. I called that. I said, watch, they're not going to do a season 3 because the ratings were too low, even on the episode where she had a whole baby. Every subsequent episode after that had not even 200,000 people viewing it. Public opinion and public sentiment has just shifted towards Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And people are fucking sick and tired and done with her bullshit, her lies, her perpetual victimhood. Viewership plummeted. Lifetime canceled, especially with her being a legal liability and breaking her NDA, her non-disclosure agreement with them to be a direct source for TMZ. And that was proven with her prison emails in October of 2023, 2 months before she was released. With all the people that TMZ contact that are in prison for heinous crimes, really big notoriety, they didn't even have the brain power to stop and think somebody could get a Freedom of Information Act request and see these emails. This could all be made public. But they did it anyway. Which brings me to one thing, and that is this article that American Red Cross did about neighborhoods preparing. This was published online on October 23rd of 2013, where they talk to Dee Dee Blanchard about being prepared after having suffered through a traumatic event like Hurricane Katrina. So it turns out that stockpiling all of that unopened medicine over the counter and from the pharmacy, locking the cabinet, was nothing more than her OCD, her anxiety over being prepared. Dee Dee Blanchard even mentions to the Red Cross that she stockpiles medications in the event that a natural disaster happens again. And let me make it very clear. I don't believe that Dee Dee Blanchard was a perfect mother. There is no such thing as a perfect mother. And I'm really tired of women trying to label other women as either good mothers or bad mothers. Nobody. Good mom, bad mom, shitty person, horrible person, evil person, whether they be the most amazing, kind-hearted person, deserves to be killed in such a heinous and violent way at the hands of somebody else's violence. Fundamentally, when it comes down to the Gypsy Rose Blanchard crime against her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, a lot of it comes down to semantics. It comes down to what is your own definition and opinion that constitutes abuse. We also have the overinflation and the misrepresentation by Gypsy Rose Blanchard of the said abuse she allegedly underwent due to her mother's actions. And that is where there is a lot of division. There is a lot of misinformation, a lot of opinions. It is my own opinion that it doesn't matter what mitigating circumstances surround a case. Premeditated murder is murder is murder. Orchestrating and carrying out a plan to intentionally and deliberately take somebody's life is not self-defense. It is not an accident. So therefore, those mitigating circumstances don't change the context that premeditated murder is still wrong. I personally don't believe false accusers. It's not about invalidating somebody's quote experience unquote or their quote abuse unquote. It's about validating, proving beyond a reasonable doubt that abuse ever occurred and took place. And that has never happened in the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Her medical records prove that she was a proactive participant in the medical scam. It's my own opinion for helping her mother and herself get a monthly Social Security check. Therefore, they had to convince doctors that she truly had a medical reason and necessity to therefore get SSI or SSDI. And she was receiving SSI, and so was Dee Dee Blanchard. But Dee Dee Blanchard truly had medical diagnoses that supported her claim to get Social Security. And whether or not you believe it was abusive of Dee Dee Blanchard to not allow her almost 24-year-old daughter to make her own choices and decisions based on her own body, her own life, and her own autonomy. None of that excuses any of Gypsy's deliberate lies and misrepresentations of what truly happened in her real story. It gives her no right in any way, shape, or form to take it upon herself and play God and have her mother taken out, especially after trying to take her mother's life twice 4.5 years before, a whole year and a half before she ever even met Nicholas Godejohn. From the very beginning of winter, spring 2011 to the incident with the BB gun on June 14th of 2011. She doesn't meet Nicholas until October of 2012. And her crime and her plan wasn't carried out until June of 2015, nearly 3 years later. Gypsy had murder on her mind and her heart for over 4.5 years. And she did not stop until she got what she wanted, when she knew she could exercise other options. She had exercised using the internet and electronic devices to sext with men from the age of 18 all the way to 24. So in my own opinion, do I believe that Dee Dee Blanchard was a perfect mother? No. No mother is a perfect mother. But do I believe that she intentionally abused Gypsy in the way that she tries to present? No. I believe that she has rewritten a story and fabricated a story that not only lessens her culpability in her own crime, but also simultaneously has the purpose of making her appear to be the victim, thus justifying what she did. And it is my opinion and belief that absolutely nothing justifies what she did, because what she did was not self-defense. It was not an accident. It was an orchestrated crime that she had been thinking about for over 4.5 years, all on her own. But she also had a very good run of gathering a false sense of fame and monetizing her crime, the rewrite of her story to make it more palpable for audiences and consumers. But she also gets to lie to herself internally, emotionally, and psychologically, surrounding herself in yes men, people that don't tell her the fundamental truth. Take accountability for your actions, words, choices, and behaviors. Your heinous crime of killing your mother and letting an autistic young man sit in prison for the rest of his life based on your plan. If she ever sat down and took true accountability for manipulating Nicholas Godejohn, not later saying that she accidentally manipulated him, but if she ever sat down and had a true conversation, a true open and honest dialogue about what really happened while she was living with her mother for 24 years, took true accountability. And in my opinion, the moment she accepted a payout for telling her story in exchange for a false sense of fame, notoriety, and a large social media platform following is the exact moment that she owed it, not to just herself, the truth to her now daughter and future children, but to Nicholas, his mother, his family, but most importantly, her victim, her own mother. Then people would really see her in a different light. And there is no lesson or teaching moment to be had with the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case when people don't even have the truth. They have nothing but a rewritten story that didn't even happen. We only have lies gift wrapped and presented as this heinous abuse story. We have narcissism and sociopathy driving the slander of a victim of a heinous crime. And at what point do victims' rights outweigh the perpetrator's rights? People would have a lot more respect for Gypsy Rose Blanchard if she ever would just sit down and tell the damn truth. I think the fascination that surrounds the case today has nothing to do with the case. It largely has to do with her behavior, her actions, her words, her choices, and her behaviors. People that are interested in psychiatry see a very serious personality disorder in Gypsy Rose Blanchard because she exudes it in those actions, words, choices, and behaviors. And I often question if she doesn't have psychopathy and borderline personality disorders because her clinginess to somebody that she thinks she loves and wants and is lusting after, her control and manipulation and her fear of losing them. To me, it screams that she is trying to force. She's trying to force and control this fairy tale narrative that she's always had in her head was going to happen for her. Sorry, Gypsy, you're a nobody just like everybody else. And sorry, Gypsy, you're not a princess. And the reality is, for everybody, there is no Prince Charming. There is no knight in shining armor that comes gallivanting on a steed to come and save you. That in and of itself is just another lie. It's a misrepresentation of reality and truth. But despite that, people still dedicate themselves to the Gypsy Rose Blanchard story and her crime, truly, honestly documenting the behavior and all of the case files. Why? Because we don't get it from Gypsy. We don't get it from Lifetime. We only get a version that she created and sold for money. It was curated. It was streamlined, not to only benefit Gypsy Rose Blanchard, but to benefit those closest to her, to those people that are encouraging and enabling her bad, negative actions, words, choices, and behaviors. And still, it has been almost 2 years since Lifetime aired their trailer on YouTube for the Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. It has been 1 year and 9 months since she was released from prison. And people today are more sick of her shit and her story than they ever were before. She has had to resort and reduce herself to petty, stupid dramas like coming on and off of TikTok and Instagram constantly, mocking creators, presenting herself as, I'm finally stepping into my power and my big girl panties by taking the power back. It's all a deflection and a misrepresentation. It's the drama, because being a wife and being a mother is not going to be fulfilling for her. It's not going to sustain her. She feeds off of the drama that she creates, and it has been documented. It continues to be thoroughly documented, and she continues to make a mockery of her crime. And that's one reason why she hates Ryan so much, because she cannot control Ryan. He knows too much, and he will not shut up. But before we get to what Ryan has said recently, take a listen to Gypsy.
What I'll say is, when dealing with family, communication goes a long way. So be sure to communicate how you feel, what are your opinions, be very calm in this situation. Communication is something that I think helps in every friendship, every relationship, whether it be father-son, daughter-mother, sister-brother. It just, across the board, communication is super important. Patience is also very important. Always remember, they are your family, okay?
Always remember, family never kills family, okay? That is a whole cultural teaching moment that she could have solidified in the books. Thou shall not kill. Nope, instead she has to say it out loud to psychologically remind herself not to kill family.
You don't have to always agree, but you can agree to disagree.
Now, these next two clips I want you to take a listen to, because Gypsy and Ken are packing up to move. And yet, of course, you know that she is applying even more pressure to Ken to put a ring on it. Because yes, she is obsessing over the fact that he has not given her a ring yet. He says he loves her while barely looking her in the eye. Even Ryan did a better job of showing his love and affection for Gypsy, to the point it was bordering creepy as fuck. But the second clip, you're also going to see that Ken clearly doesn't like the TikTok lives. He doesn't agree with the coming back to social media and the videos. You just get this sense that he's done with it. He's just completely fucking done with it. You almost get this sense of, well, you reap what you sow. You made your bed, now you're gonna lay in it. And he has to be with her because of their daughter. If he was to honestly tell Gypsy that he is not in love with her and that he doesn't want to be with her, he would look like an even lesser man than Ryan. And I'm not saying that that is fundamentally the truth. I'm just saying those are the vibes that I pick up on. He doesn't look at her like he's sexually attracted to her. He doesn't look at her like he loves her. And every time she talks to him in any kind of video or live, it really feels like he's snapping. He certainly has this psychological egoist type of vibe to him. Arrogant, cocky, conceited, overinflated sense of self, overinflated sense of intelligence. And people that are like that are not intelligent. They're not even emotionally intelligent because they can't ever comprehend or digest that other people can be just as, if not more intelligent than they are. And I have seen a lot when it comes to Ryan, but one thing I can say for sure, Ryan and Ken are both assholes. They're just different types of asshole. Okay, take a listen.
Yeah, we're living together. No, I'm not wearing a ring. You should talk to Ken about that. Tell him.
What?
Nothing. Nothing.
Okay, see right here? Little crease there? You can just rip it off like that.
He's so smart. I have no idea what I'm doing. Covering the whole thing. Talking stuff.
Alright, I'm gonna
Okay, now.
pack up the...
Where am I moving? Hammond? It's still in Louisiana. At 3. Not fine yet. Oh, and I did give her the powder thing.
The allergy stuff? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. You said you gave her a bottle when at 3?
At 3, yeah.
Okay.
How was your little nap? We didn't nap for
Great.
long.
It's like 30 minutes.
I told you it wouldn't nap long. What do you want for dinner tonight?
I have no idea. Just scroll through and see what calls to me, you know?
I just haven't
I don't want to cook anything because we're packing all the cookware, so
I know.
I'll probably just order us like Uber Eats or something.
What the hardest thing is?
Are you hungry or?
I mean, I am, but like
You want me to order now and I can just eat mine later?
No, I mean, I don't mind whenever you want to order. I don't care.
Well, I'm probably not going to eat till like maybe 8.
Oh, that's late. Yeah.
What do you want?
I don't know. That's the hardest thing. It's like I don't know what I feel like.
Chips. Rip it from the indention, don't just rip it like that.
No, I said I was ripping it wherever I rip it.
Do your thing.
Do my thing. I just don't feel like anything. You know, I don't feel like hibachi or fried rice. I don't feel like pizza. I don't feel like fries. I just don't know what I feel like.
She feels like a pain in the ass, and nobody is worth pain in the ass.
Hey, macaroni and cheese
You
for
need a
lunch?
suppressor?
Honestly, I'm afraid, guys. The last time he said that, he fed me octopus. Oh, I'm all scared.
You know, if you actually just tried it, you would have loved it.
We're not having this argument again. Oh, pizza.
Have you seen that clip? I don't know what show it's from, where it's like the husband and wife at dinner, and the wife is like trying to get the husband to try like her food, and it's like a crab salad or something. I don't remember what it was. And the husband's like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to try it.
Yes, you
Leave me alone.
did. You
And
did
then-
show me that.
And then he actually tries it. He's like, oh fuck, it's better than
This
mine.
is good. I don't know. I guess we could just browse and see what calls to us. Be like, oh, that looks good.
Okay.
how did we end up with 2 Stanleys? I wish I had the power to just be like, everything's packed. What the heck are you?
If you want to take over and hold Aurora, I can pack.
Okay. Alright. You want to be on live or no?
No.
Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. We're gonna go finish packing. Bye! Recording.
I kind of got you. Got good balance. Go ahead.
Alright. Ready for this?
Am I good? Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to follow that, Rod. That was too good. But I love you, Ben. And all I can say is, again, to reiterate, thank you guys all for coming. I'm happy that everybody's here. This is a big celebration, much bigger than last year. And I couldn't be more happy, more proud of how much progress you've made. And what an amazing mother you've been. And this past year and a half journey that I've been with you has been nothing short of the best and most incredible times in my life. So I'm very thankful that I have you as a partner and as a mother for our beautiful Aurora. And, you know, I love you so much. Happy birthday. And a special shout out to Rody and to everybody.
So she talked about doing this position on the couch, and she was like, oh, and she's walking, and she's naked, and she's walking, she's like, let's do this. Boom, and she jumped on the back of the couch and fell over. Head first, bam, hit her head on the floor, legs went flying. She's like sprawled all out, and legs flying up in the air, and I went and I made sure she's okay, and then I waxed it.
He says the haters and true crime commentators, people that do independent investigations, internet sleuths, that they are all obsessed. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to straight out say it. Ryan Anderson is a fucking creep. Even if he had any respect, morals, values, or decency for Gypsy Rose Blanchard whatsoever, in person, she was his wife for about 50 days before she started cheating with Ken Urker emotionally. Despite her being a piece of shit, he doesn't have to talk about her like that. He doesn't have to choose to say some very sexually derogatory things about her. Because the truth and the fact is that everything that happened. There is no looking back and going back. Even if she could make amends and fix everything, she can't. But she is a mother. She does have a baby that's not quite a year old yet. She does have a lot of people who know who she is. Whether you agree she's a liar and she's just a fucking criminal, or you actually believe her bullshit story about being so abused, it's one of the worst cases we've seen in the last 50 years, which we know is not true because Jeannie, the feral child, was one of the worst cases. That's what happens when you take a completely healthy born child and isolate and abuse them so much. They lose their language skills for the rest of their lives. And Gypsy Rose Blanchard truly does have a rare chromosome disorder that caused a lot of medical issues, but I believe her and her mother were conflating those medical issues with things that they knew would get them a social security check every month, like being in a wheelchair, having muscular dystrophy, having a seizure disorder. The problem, and there are some creators that are a little bit better at this than I am, is being able to tell the difference as to what truly did she have and suffer with and what she did not. Because she and her mother couldn't have used the chromosome disorder as a blueprint for medical grifting, when her specific chromosome disorder hadn't even been found out until 2008, and she wasn't diagnosed until 2013. But when you see Gypsy Rose Blanchard as a baby, you know there is something genetically wrong with her. You can tell by looking at her. But Ryan Anderson is on a whole different level of constantly feeding little tidbits of BS stories about Gypsy Rose. But the sexual stuff is disgusting. Also, it's not cute to sit there and tell everybody that he liked when his wife used to rip ass. Yeah, everybody farts, but the internet does not need to know that Gypsy Rose Blanchard farts. Ryan Anderson clearly is not thinking straight because he's off his rocker. They only lived together as man and wife for 3 months. It has officially been over 18 months since they have been together. That's over 6 times longer than the 3 months that they actually spent as man and wife together physically, with a 600% increase of time going by since the 100% of time they actually spent together. You would think he would get over it or go to therapy. Yes, he was dumped. Yes, he was divorced. Yes, somebody had a baby on him, his wife. Yes, his wife rejected him. Yes, the person that rejected him and left him was a convicted murderer. If he knows he's a loyal and decent man and that he deserves better, he wouldn't be that affected by the fact that a murderer left his ass. It's the clout. It's the infamy, the notoriety. It's the attention. It's the social media clout and the money. When she left, she took that with her. And the only reason why anybody joins his lives or even knows who the hell he even is because of that damn TV show. And he knows it. That's why he is the biggest Gypsy Rose troll, the biggest Gypsy Rose content creator. He's constantly giving little tidbits of information, teasing that he has the tea, that he has so many stories. How many stories can you have? You were only together for 50 days before she was cheating. That was only so much time that he could have waxed it, that she broke air or queefed. Like, seriously, Ryan, come on. Enough is enough now. Nothing ever changes if nothing ever changes. And I pray for him. I wish the best for him, but he has to make that decision to get himself unstuck, because that's the truth. He is stuck. He is disgruntled. He was rejected and he is having a hard time letting that go. Once he got a little taste of that fame, he couldn't let it go. Just the simple fact that he still says Team Ryan. He is still playing off of Life After Lockup, Gypsy Rose Blanchard with Team Ryan. And I'm sure she can't wait until Ken finally does propose so she can rub it in his face and smear his nose all up in it. Because if there's one thing Gypsy Rose Blanchard loves, she loves triangulation. She loves pitting two guys against each other for her. She did it with Dan Glidewell and Nicholas Godejohn. She did it while she was in prison, and she's still feeding off of that same bullshit fantasy narrative with Team Ryan, Team Ken. But I'm just really disappointed in Ryan for constantly feeding into it.
I couldn't help it. I set it up. I had to, anyway, that actually happened. There's your juicy story. Yeah, it's just a joke. I mean, come on. I didn't say nothing bad. Y'all can say what you want. Didn't say nothing bad. But that's a true story. Loved it. Anyway, there you go. Thank y'all for helping me in the battle. That's just quick little story time. And yeah. There you go. There's your juice for the night. There you go. And y'all like the story? True story. That's all you really get. But y'all like the story, yes or no? I'm sorry if it was too much, but it really wasn't. I didn't say nothing terrible. I mean, it's kind of funny. I know I'll see clips of that later, but it was what it was. I don't care. She can get mad all she wants. It happened. It is what it is.
And of course, Gypsy Rose Blanchard shared this video of baby Aurora. And I am not going to play the sound because the sound is coming from, guess what? A miniature tablet, which is also called a cell phone. And with copyright sounds, music, TV shows on YouTube, you usually can't play it for more than 7 seconds, or it's going to say that you have a copyright, not a copyright strike, but a copyright notice. You can either share revenue with that specific copyright holder of that sound, allows shared revenue, or you can dispute it, or you can prove that you have obtained some kind of licensing to borrow that sound or song. I am just choosing to mute it right here and right now, but I want you to take a listen to this old clip.
And screen time, I don't like a lot of screen time.
Okay. All right.
What?
No,
You
no.
had something to add to
Oh,
that.
I do. I'm just waiting.
I mean, I just don't like a lot of screen time.
Okay. Well, there's one specific thing that comes to my mind. It's the conversation we had about iPads in the future, where you say you don't want her to have an iPad at all.
Well, okay, let me be specific. Okay.
Okay.
As a toddler, no.
So I got up this morning and I fed her, changed her. We watched some sensory videos.
Okay.
As a preteen, no. As a 16, yes. I mean,
Today, there is no difference between a cell phone, a tablet, a laptop, a PC, or a television screen. They all connect to the internet. She was adamant. Absolutely no tablet until 16, but she is letting her play with a cell phone.
If you want a cameo from me, look, guys, you won't get a 25-second cameo from me. Being 100% honest, I will never give you a 25-second cameo. Oh, Katie, you love my laugh? Thank you, sweetie. Some people just like my laugh. Somebody said I don't feel like I could trust Gypsy. I did trust Gypsy. She knows that I trusted her. But I was insecure with her. She made me that way. In my Dusty Rose voice, come on, man. Dusty Rose. No new season. Alright, I just saw somebody saying she told you over and over she wanted some other dudes. Okay. Gypsy would get in moments where she would be curious about something else. Okay? But then when I would say, if that's what you want, okay. But then she'd say, no, I want to be with you. So don't give me that shit. You don't know what she said to me in private. So you can read whatever you want. But don't give me that shit, because you did not hear our conversations. Alright? I'm not playing any fucking victim, Dustin. I'm not any victim. I'm not the victim. I mean, I was wronged. Plain and simple. And I was wronged by that fucking family. Plain and simple. I mean, damn. If I say something, then I'm fucking obsessed. But I lived it. I fucking lived it. I lived it. You didn't. You weren't heartbroken by it. You didn't lay in bed crying. So, I did that shit. Cried in front of millions of people on national television. You didn't do it. So I have every right to feel that way. Yeah, you heard our conversations. Yeah, you heard all of them. Okay, CJ. You heard the ones we put on TV. And there weren't hundreds. I got news for you. There weren't hundreds that we put on TV. You know what's funny? After that one we did on TV, you know what's funny? She said, okay, stop recording. And then she said, was that good? Do you think they'll eat that drama up? So fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, CJ, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, go on with yourself. Patty Wilson wasn't staged, no. But she knew they wanted drama, so she fucking said something that would piss me off and set me off. And so that's why she did that. So. Yeah, absolutely she did. Yeah, they painted me out to be the problems. I wasn't. She knows that. Yeah, it was her loss.
Oh, I read the emails. I lived it. Yeah, she told people some things. She told me something else. So, I mean, it is what it is. Keep that energy when people ask about her. I try. I really try, chat. I really do. I really do. I try. You know, people ask me, say, look, do you miss Jip Jip? Like, I try not to answer these questions.
Under fair use for educational and entertainment purposes only, I am going to show you these clips from a TikTok live of Keesh because Bree is on there talking to Audrey. And per usual, she loses her damn shit. Not that she ever could find it to begin with, though. Take a listen.
That's disgusting to think that people choose
You're not
that
going to
life.
sit here and twist everything I have to say.
Oh, what did that mean? What did that mean? You're trying to say that Gypsy chose to live the life she lived from 3.5 months old. She chose that, right? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying she chose murder because it was a fantasy for her.
No, that was a fantasy for Nick, sweetheart. Prove that it was a fantasy for her. Prove it. Prove it. I can prove that it was for Nick. Right now, actually. Y'all ready? Y'all listening?
She fucked next to a dead body. Who gets off on that? That's a fantasy.
What? She did not. You fucking ignorant. Okay,
right
Keesh,
across
I'm not
the
doing
room
this
from
with
it.
her
Yes, she did.
She did in the next room. And you think she wanted to do that? I'm about to prove. Okay, this is what I mean. You came into this, what, 4 months ago? Girl, you don't know shit. Go away.
I don't like you. Shut up. Go away.
Like, what the fuck is that? You've only been here for 4 months. Shut up and go away. Audrey is welcome wherever the fuck she chooses to go, including the true crime community, if that's where she chooses to partake. What is it with these middle-aged, grown-ass women trying to tell other women what they can and cannot do? Trying to control their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions, their critiques, their emotions. My favorite, though, is always Keesh, because she's always just sitting there just listening like, whatever. I'm just going to let people talk their bullshit. But what's not ironic or coincidental is that anybody that ever opens up their platform for Bree to come on and to talk about the case or to show things that she really wants to show, to prove why she thinks the way she thinks, she just does nothing but resort to below the belt attacks. Okay, under fair use and copyright law, I am going to finish the rest of the couple minutes and let you listen.
Anyways, Keesh, I'll talk to you. I'm not talking to this ignorant motherfucker. I'm sorry, but she did not have sex next to a dead person, and she tried to get out of it that night. Would you like me to see that text? Want to see that text message? When she tried to get out of that, she didn't want to do that, and the only reason she had sex with him is because Nick said that was the only way that he would do it, because he wanted to grape her mother.
He did not say that was the only way.
What,
Stop.
he didn't? He didn't?
No,
Would you like,
no.
This is crazy. You don't know anything, girl. I don't even know why you're in this community because you don't know shit.
Okay.
You don't. I've proven this shit before. I've also proven, I'm gonna let you hear this
unlike
video,
you, I
unless
can
you have to
talk about
go,
it
you know,
calmly.
because that's what I usually do. This video where Nick literally says that he hoped that Gypsy would explore his dark side with him. That was his fantasy, sweetheart, not hers. So you can go ahead and sit down because you don't know shit.
Dan said she had that fantasy prior to Nick.
Wait, he did? No. Actually, there's proof that Nick did the same thing with another girl that he did with her, except for this murder. There's proof of that. You want to see that?
There's proof of her wanting Dan to do freaky shit with her.
That's not what it said, though. It said...
Okay.
Wait, it didn't? It did? You're saying okay and not even letting me show you.
Show me.
Like, that's the thing. Do you know that there's nothing wrong with BDSM? What Nick was into is called sadism, okay? Sadism. He wanted it to be real. You want me to prove that, too?
Did I?
You see, why don't you dig a little bit further? I did research on this for 2
BDSM?
years.
I'm not kink shaming.
What? You are kink shaming.
I said I never said there was any. No,
Wait,
I'm
there
not.
is something wrong with sadism. So you don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to have sex with a dead person?
He said he did not want to have sex with a dead person.
What?
And it's called necrophiliac, you dipshit.
Oh yeah, wait. No, no shit. Who said it wasn't called that? I'm not. Sadism isn't that. You don't know what sadism is? Why don't you look it up? I wasn't saying that's what it's called, dipshit. So you sound real dumb thinking that you corrected me on something when you're not. That's for one. And for two, Nick thought about it even right after the crime doing it. You want me to show you on his own court documents? Would you like me to show you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect.
Proceed to the route.
You shouldn't speak so quickly without... Maybe no, think making sure you know what you're talking about, because like that's
Like you did last night whenever you claimed I said she was on prenatal vitamins as a child.
No,
so
you
let's
said
not go there.
you said that sounds like medications she took as a child. That's what you said.
And I named the 2 medications. The
No, you didn't.
and,
And even if you did 2 medications, you think just
I've done replayed the shit for
heartburn and
everybody.
constipation medicine. That's normal. That's normal medicine. So you sounded ignorant saying it.
She wasn't pregnant in that scene, so you sounded ignorant.
Actually, in the scene with her purse, Gypsy was taking prenatal vitamins way before she got pregnant. Many people do. So you sound like an idiot once again.
You said she was taking the heartburn medicine and the constipation medicine because she was pregnant. Now you're trying to flip it and say, oh, she was taking them before she was pregnant.
No matter what she was taking it for, the fact that you said those the point is this. I didn't know what part of the show you were talking. Okay, I didn't know what part of the show you're talking about. No matter what, she took those medications while she was pregnant. For one, for two,
she took them when she wasn't pregnant too, and her mom gave them.
And
what is abuse?
Do you know people take medicine like that? That's so stupid. You never taken heartburn medicine before?
I take it every single fucking day. You know why?
Exactly. So shut the fuck up.
I have GERDs just like Gypsy.
Okay, was you put in a wheelchair for it?
No, because my legs work fine.
Neither. So with her, she's walking now. You know, muscular dystrophy doesn't get better; it gets worse.
She got diagnosed with muscular atrophy.
No, it was what that was when she was a child, and when she was older, it's not in none of her records. When she was a child, which is when her mother was around all the time, she never left her by herself, and so there's going to be more weakness in her legs because she never got to get up mostly.
In
so
2 miles,
it was
take
due
exit
to disuse.
145 onto Grand
It was
River
due
Avenue.
in her records when it says when she got diagnosed. When they said it says that on the paper, right underneath it says due to disuse.
Okay.
Due to disuse.
Is she disusing them now? Because we seen on the show and on lives where Christy had to help her get up, where she can't walk for long without limping.
Think if somebody helps somebody get up, girl. I have literally walked long distances with Gypsy. She walked at Disney World or wherever the fuck she went. Like, are you serious? You're trying to claim that Gypsy can't walk
when she was in court?
So she can't. She can't. You never limped before in your life. You never limped before. You never hurt your leg and limped. You know when she was in prison. You know what happened to her?
My God,
a desk fell on her foot. What do you mean? Oh my goodness! You sound ignorant. Because she limped, a desk, she still has the bruise. She still has like a permanent bruise. You know, sometimes when you hurt yourself, it'll be that bad. Like it's like, I don't know what it's called. But on her foot, she dropped a huge ass, heavy ass desk on her foot while she was in prison.
That's interesting because she said, oh, it's a blister. That's why I was walking like that.
Yeah, she does say.
Okay, then why'd you even question it? I'm saying while she was in prison, that happened. Gypsy, what the fuck she was limping for in court? Do you think I asked her stupid questions? Do you think I asked her stupid questions like that?
Right.
I was naming something that I know that happened to her.
Mashed potatoes and Cinderella's castle.
Oh, you see, I'm not going to show you shit. You're fucking disgusting, and you have a child that has disabilities. You're sick. The fact that you have a child with disabilities, you're
don't
fucking
bring
sick.
up the child. Come on, we don't need to get.
Okay, well, tell her. Get her the fuck off. I'm not going to show you this paper. I'm done with this. This is why I don't talk to her. She came here 4 months ago. She doesn't know shit about shit. She doesn't know shit about shit. Keesh, you've been here for over a year. Where was she? Nowhere. She read the email. She doesn't know shit. So why are you speaking on someone you don't know shit about? So get the fuck off the panel. Like, I'm not doing this with her here.
My son's in my car with me, and for you to talk about him shows what a horrible fucking person.
I'm not speaking about him. I'm speaking about you,
and I wish
honey.
the worst of the worst on you.
I'm speaking about you. You always bring it up. You use it as a weapon. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. I'm just gonna like. Blah, okay, I'm just gonna turn the volume down until she gets off so I can't hear her.
Keesh, if you would like, you can drop me because I'm gonna end up going off on this bitch bringing up my kid.
All right, I understand.
All right, have a good day.
Turn right.
It doesn't need to get.
It's okay.
It doesn't need to get personal over. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Like, we're just discussing the crime and like what happened before and after. It doesn't have to. We don't need to bring up people's children and shit like that.
She's speaking about her child, not me. I was speaking about her when I said that. She always brings that up, which is kind of sad considering the situation. Like, you say these things and that's disgusting. It is. It's disgusting that she, like, about the seizure medication. People that children have seizures, they have to take seizure medication. For them to see in a record that Gypsy went into the hospital multiple times and there's none of that in her system. Like, which is why a doctor put at the end of that one document, strong possibility of Munchausen by proxy. It was because of that. It was because of her saying she had muscular dystrophy, even though she had spoken to her pediatrician. It was multiple things. That was a red flag. So people out here who have
How
children
long
who need to
was
take seizure
it
medication.
documented? How long was it documented that she was prescribed
Almost
seizure medication?
nearly like since she was. This was even before when she lived in Louisiana, all through her life. And there's
But
multiple
she
times when she
said
doesn't have
that
it in her system.
she doesn't remember having to take seizure medication.
Yeah, she doesn't remember ever having a seizure, and she's never had one after. So okay, the fact that they never had, they know in the medical records, they were never able to do any kind of test where it proved that she had seizures. That's for one. For two,
Why would they
almost
prescribe
throughout the whole
seizure
entire records,
medication?
it never has her Tegretol levels. They never, which is why it was a red flag for that doctor. That's the doctor that they interviewed that he said he wishes he would have reported, but he just put that in his records, like the strong possibility of Munchausen by proxy. Like that. Do you know how dangerous it is not to take seizure medication when you're on it? It's so dangerous. The fact that Gypsy didn't always have it in her system, like, so for someone with seizures, that would be detrimental to them. But somebody without them, like her mom used her medication, you could tell by what she was getting and how much she was getting of it, and what like the side effects when you mix those together. And it lines up. I mean, it's such a complex thing. That's the reason when I get on here, I feel like I'm never able to have conversations with people. Because you see how, like, I wanted to find one thing and then 10 other things came at me. Like, it's frustrating when I'm trying to find something and then you have 10 other things because you want to divert from what I'm talking about.
Let's start with
I want to find this one. I want to find this thing first. Well, go ahead. You can talk.
I want to see where, because you said that Dee Dee knew at birth that Gypsy had a chromosome disorder. Oh, damn.
That's nothing.
No,
like
she I like the way she talks about
you like the way just because you like the way somebody talks about it, even though like I have showed the way that she's misquoted
No, I
things.
mean,
like
I agree with the way she talks about the case.
Right. But you agree based on what though? Like here's all these records, you see all of those? Like, you know what Becca Scoops has? About this much. About that much. But y'all listen to her. But y'all won't listen to me.
Well, what are we supposed to be listening to? Because at the end of the day, Gypsy unalived her mom.
Okay, so why do we talk about that?
You get around there.
Okay, so why talk about it all then? If that's what you think, if you think at the end of the day that's what she did, then why ask questions?
No,
why
because
talk about it?
that's the debate. Is what to the crime.
Right, but just
That's
now you
the
said at the
debate,
end of the
that's what I
day.
find interesting.
Right, but you said at the end of the day she did
that. That's what she did.
Right, and let's just say Gypsy wouldn't have unallowed. Like, if we would have found out, if we would have known about it, I don't know. Who knows? Probably. What if Gypsy would have died? I wonder how y'all would be thinking like about her mother.
But she did it, so we can't think that.
I know we should have just waited to see.
Walk out
right?
the house and
I know.
something could happen.
We should have just waited, right? We should have just waited to see if she did die, right?
I mean, I don't think it would have happened, but that's just my opinion. And you
so
said
you
I'm
think
right
her mom
to my
spends
opinions.
her
You
mom
said
spent her
I'm
entire-
okay to my own opinions.
Okay, you are, but that's fine. Keesh, I'm not saying that you can't. So her mom spent Gypsy's entire life telling people she wasn't gonna live past a certain age for like just to say like, oops, I lied. You think she was just gonna do that? Oops, I lied.
I don't know what Dee Dee was saying because I mean, there's
Multiple
a lot of
people said that.
She
Multiple
was
people
she
said
was known in the community. It's not like she wasn't. She had it.
Right. And she told multiple people
presence.
that. Exactly. Even better. I'm so glad you said that. So she wasn't just isolating herself too, and nobody could say what Dee Dee said, right? So if 10 people said the same thing that Dee Dee said, if 10 people said Dee Dee said this, it's more than likely true, right? Because 10 people said it. If all these people said that she said Gypsy wasn't going to live past a certain age, why would she say something like that? And then like her con would have caught up with her if that was the case. If she wasn't going to actually do anything, or if nothing was, she wasn't going to keep Gypsy in that position. Why would she? When did she think she was going to let Gypsy finally live?
Well, I don't know because she did it unalive her for almost 24 years.
Yeah, because that's her mom. It's her mom. So it was hard. It was.
No, I'm saying Dee Dee didn't unalive her daughter.
I'm not talking. You think no, I said that's, oh my God, Keesh. Like what I'm saying is, how long do you think Gypsy, when do you think Gypsy's mom was going to let her go out the house on her own and live her own life?
Well, I think that's a big motivation to what she did. I think that's, she felt, that was her way out. Like, I don't deny that.
Right. So you well, I'm glad that you don't, because what I'm trying to say is like, you're being logical right now. Whereas most people that I speak to, the reason you say I'm also not screaming, I'm not yelling. I mean, I'm a loud person, so I'm going to be loud. But you see why? Because you're able to acknowledge that we don't have to agree on how she got out, which I do actually agree with you that she shouldn't have done that. But what led to that is she didn't just
I agree
like one day like
that, her medical history is very sketchy, and yeah, it sucks. Like being a mother, I wouldn't do that to my child. But
thank you for saying that. That's just it. We don't have to agree on everything, but I don't think people realize how crucial it is to not say the things they say when it's regarding this case, because you never know who is watching this. You never know who is going through what Gypsy went through, and no, they shouldn't do that to get out. They shouldn't. But everybody failed Gypsy in her life. When she got, which by the way, I wanted to say this, hopefully Audrey's listening. When she escaped her neighbors, Nicole, whoever said this, just because she ran to her neighbor, oh my God, Bray, she ran to her neighbor's house. Like, okay, and she ran to her neighbor's house all the way down the road in the middle of the night, bang on the door. That's actually, they have the person that brought her to the hospital. Actually, there's a witness statement from them on Megan's Star catalog, and they tell you about the whole experience. And so when she got to the hospital, she went to dance. Someone there, they didn't just like, oh yeah, we called her. I would call her mom too. You would call her mom too. That's sad to me. Those people, and it makes me angry. But Gypsy gives them so much grace. She's like, she remembers the lady was going through a lot at that time, and I was like, Gypsy, one of those people knew you, and they saw you in a wheelchair all the time, and then now you're walking, and you're telling them about your experience with your mom, and they called Shelly, this lady at the convention, who called her mom, because the only thing they were worried about is what if Gypsy's actually underage and my friend gets in trouble. They totally were. It's like they were blind to the fact that she was walking. That is so sad to me. That
I kind of feel like there's more that we don't know. I mean,
no,
neither of us were there. We can't speak.
No, I know. I wasn't there. You know how I know? Because they said it. It's in Megan's Star catalog. The two of the people that were there told their experience with Megan, and it's the exact same experience. It's in Megan's Star. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. Like they said that, and actually the man that went and met up with Dee Dee at Walmart, he said she had a hammer.
Rogie brought that article up. That was when the crime first started. I can't remember. Is that the article?
Even Becca recently used that article. I mean, where's the fuck out of it? But Megan, and I wish that Megan doesn't want to talk about this anymore, because multiple people, including the woman that tried to come up here when I first came up. Anyway, I wish she would, because she knows so much about this case, and she's so knowledgeable, and she's not biased or anything. She does care about Gypsy, and she does know Gypsy, but she's the one that started talking about this case. When Gypsy was still missing, she was talking, she was blogging about this. And she's the one that she was in Gypsy's Revenge, this woman. She was in Gypsy's Revenge, and the Mommy, Dad, and Dearest was inspired by, the person who made Mommy, Dad, and Dearest was inspired to make that because they read that blog. She is very knowledgeable on this whole entire case, and she doesn't talk about it though. And I don't blame her because of what she went through when she was speaking about it.
You guys, she just said where she's getting her information from, if you want to reference it.
Yeah, it's Megan's Star catalog. I mean, that's where I get that, the stuff about what happened that night at Dan's and stuff. But everything else I get from medical records. I can show you where it says quadriplegic. What mom tells a doctor their child is quadriplegic even though she's not?
Yeah, can I see that?
I actually had that up front too.
I never heard that until last night when I was listening to your live. And look, I'm not trying to downplay anything, you guys. Obviously, you all know where I stand with Gypsy Rose. So does Bree. No.
Can y'all let Keesh just
not new to me,
I know, but I hate when people do that, because isn't that how we shouldn't act? Information should shift our perspective, even if it doesn't completely. It should shift things in our mind. The fact that people want to stop that is what's wrong with society. They shouldn't be worrying about what you think. They shouldn't be worried about how you could be affected by getting new info or more information. That to me is having I don't want to say mom mentality, but it's you an echo chamber. No, Key, don't be letting her change your mind. I shouldn't be the one to change your mind. It should be facts that change your mind.
No one's
This is
gonna
why-
change my mind.
I'm not saying you're gonna change your mind.
Ever deny that DD
That murder's wrong.
didn't
I get it.
abuse her daughter. I've never denied that. I've never. But do I think what Gypsy did was extremely wrong? Of course I do. Do I agree that she profited off her crime? No, I don't. This is what led me to where I am today.
When Gypsy doesn't want
year and a half
Okay, I'll say that.
of talking about this case and studying and stuff like that, I could have an adult conversation with Bree.
And there you have it. I really think that Bree does have the capability of being able to sway people's perceptions. The thing she doesn't understand is that she has done so in the opposite direction that she intended to, which has just further solidified not only the reach of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's clout and manipulation of people, but also reiterating and solidifying the fact that she leverages, that she barters that clout to further manipulate and control her cult, which all she had to do was just agree to go on more interviews. Sit down, open up, be honest, be accountable, show any kind of empathy, sympathy, compassion, remorse for Nicholas Godejohn, her other victim, but the lack of empathy, the lack of sympathy and compassion, and her constant need to play the victim role, it has thoroughly expired, and people are done. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Please like and share. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button.